All right, so we're back.
We are back.
So everybody listening to this is going to go, where did they go? It's been a continual thing.
I know, right? Where did we go? We're right here, really.
We took a little break, and I have to track people down. And now I have managed to track down Mary Jo. Mary Jo, you are with Sunflower Health Plan.
Correct.
And so would you please tell us what Sunflower Health does to help the people that we're trying to get housed?
And I do have a question. So Sunflower Health Plan, so if somebody's like a special needs adult, would they have Sunflower Health Plan? Would they have your...
Absolutely. We do support all home and community-based waivers. Actually, this month is Autism Awareness Month in the month of April. So a big shout out to that.
Yes, and I have an autistic son who, by the way, has Sunflower Health Plan.
Well, that's
so
awesome.
It's a trick question I asked you because I already knew the answer.
That's awesome. Well, that's the best kind of question.
I know.
So yes, we do support folks on all of our waivers and all of the home and community-based waivers. So that is something we're very proud of and that we work really diligently to do and to do well.
Okay. And you guys, are you just in Kansas?
Sunflower Health Plan does just cover the state of Kansas,
Okay.
but we're under the Centene Corporation umbrella that also has other health plans in different states.
Okay.
Okay, so it's something. It's named something. Maybe it's very similar to what you do, but it may be something different in Missouri or California.
Absolutely,
or wherever.
absolutely. Like in Georgia, it's the Magnolia plan.
Oh, so they have flower themed.
Yes, there you go.
Flower themes or something that ties that with that particular state that
that's
makes it a little more
smart.
recognizable.
Okay. And so how does someone qualify or sign up for the benefit that you give?
First thing that they would do would be go on the website and fill out an application and for Medicaid.
Okay.
We also have other lines of business. We also help support some Medicare recipients as well as Medicaid.
So would they find you on the marketplace?
They would find us through state websites,
Okay.
KDAD's website. You can find us there, or they can always find us at sunflowerhealthplan.com.
Okay.
So just anybody looking for insurance wouldn't be able to go to you. You have to be a Medicare or Medicaid recipient?
Yes, you would need to be financially eligible first
Okay.
in order to have our plan. And that is not necessarily the same for Medicare. Those are a little different rules, but for the Medicaid program, you would need to be financially eligible or in a situation that would make you eligible.
Okay.
Okay.
So what are some of the services that you offer somebody? Everybody thinks healthcare, but are there more things connected than healthcare?
Absolutely. We offer case management for all of our members. And we also have language assistance. If a person needs an interpreter, we can help them out with that. We have member advocates that can sit by the member and help them advocate through different circumstances. We have a Smart Start for Baby program. That's for mothers expecting. And we have also added to that doula services.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay.
Yes, and so the doula wouldn't actually deliver the baby at home, but they would do coaching and things prior to delivery, go to the hospital with the expectant mother, and then follow along with that mother for a few months afterwards.
Okay.
So that's been something that's really new and has really been accepted well by a lot of our members.
And you think about a lot of our single mothers that we work with, the dad's not in the picture. So
Yeah.
I would guess having a doula would be a support system as well as coaching
Yeah.
them through what the childbirth and afterwards would look like. I mean, that's a huge life-changing event that could be that you're supporting. I'm shocked that that's even that you're even doing that, quite
and
honestly.
it's more of a holistic approach to that, and so it's been very successful. One of the other benefits that we have is non-emergency medical transportation, and this year one of our added value benefits to that is what we call enhanced transportation, that one of our members can get 12 round-trip rides within 50 miles of their residence for other things like, say they want to go look at an apartment, or they need to go to the food bank, or want to go visit their parents or something. So that has been something that's been received very well too. It does not have to be a medical reason.
And who provides that transportation?
We contract with a company that provides that transportation.
Wow. I didn't know about that one.
I didn't know about that
You know,
either.
I've been in the special needs community for years, and I don't know half this stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually have a company. It's called Jamie's House, and it's a special needs provider company,
Nice.
as well as other things that I do. But it's for my special needs son, and then we can contract. We can have other clients as well, but we're keeping it extremely small. But it's really good for me personally to understand how all of this works, to make sure that when we're serving clients, that they can get what they need.
Absolutely.
And I did not know about this.
Yes.
Well, and transportation is really hard. And especially when you get into rural areas, because we're in McPherson, and there is a taxi service, and you can call the cab. And our senior center has a bus where they pick people up and take them around, and I appreciate them doing that. But if it's after 5 o'clock and the taxi's busy, there's no transportation. And the taxi doesn't leave the city limits. So you're really limited if you have the need for transportation and whether or not it's actually available. So this
That's
is
incredible.
an amazing,
Yeah.
amazing opportunity that you offer.
And Sunflower understood that and listened to its members, and as a result had that extra transportation benefit. We also, under our transportation for our non-emergency medical, we can reimburse for gas mileage. Say a
Okay.
family
Okay, yeah.
member or a friend could take you to an appointment. That way you don't have to worry about getting the ride scheduled 3 days in advance, and it's just a little more easy for some people to use that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really good information for not only myself, as usual, but
No.
I'm just doing the podcast for myself personally, right?
Chris, we're always here for you guys.
I know, I appreciate that. We've had a relationship for a lot of years. I'm just saying, go look up my name. Could have some good stuff and not such good stuff on there, depending on what is happening. But I mean, I do really appreciate it, though. Everything that they're doing
Yeah.
especially for the special needs community. It's
Yes.
incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add to what you guys are able to help with?
Well, we have other services, and if you'd like to know more, please contact us. You can contact our customer service line at 877-644-4623.
Okay. There you go. Hey, thank you for coming and being on this little podcast.
Mini
and
podcast that we're having
giving
today.
us information. We just appreciate the work you do and love seeing you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. So, Chris, I have now found Westin.
You have found Westin. Was he lost?
Was
Westin
he-
lost?
I'm actually usually quite
He
lost.
was sitting down another hallway. So
You know, he
I
probably
have
saw
found
you and
Westin.
ran and jumped under the table is what I think happened.
No. And Westin is our hero. You didn't know that, but he's our
I
hero.
know. You know, I don't ever
I think that
I've,
might be
I've-
a stretch.
I've never officially met Westin, have I?
I don't think we've.
Oh,
Westin.
hi. How are you doing?
Nice to
So
meet you.
Westin and I don't know each other. You and Westin are buddies, and I don't know Westin.
Yeah, we are. We are. Kind
Well,
of buddies.
he's my hero.
Is he?
Because anytime there's a programming
Yeah,
issue
yeah.
with Clarity, he's the go-to guy.
He's
so
the guy?
Westin, tell us who you work for and what do you do?
Sure. Yeah. So I work for Kansas Statewide Homeless Coalition. I am currently a data analyst, but I was a system administrator for a couple years.
Wow, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Now, data analyst
Sounds complicated. It's not.
sounds very
It's very
boring.
But
But
no, I think it's interesting.
It is kind of
Weston's
boring
life is
sometimes.
not boring
It isn't. Are we getting
because
into
he knows us.
his professional
true.
life or his personal
true.
life?
Depends on who you ask, maybe, you know.
We won't go there, but anyway.
I would say I'm more like an annoyance to Karolyn because, because you know she has to deal with data quality and so much, and she has to email me, and then she has to listen to my super long technical analysis, which she probably falls asleep reading, that I have to give her just to explain what's going on in the system.
That's our Joey,
Yeah,
our producer, who
kind of, sort of.
does that to me, and pretty soon my eyes glaze over, and like, I don't really care what you have to say, just fix it.
Just fix it, yeah.
I mean, that's fair. That's very reasonable. I wish we could fix it in the system.
So, Weston, how many agencies do you work with? Like, we're one of them, but how many do you have that you work with?
I can't give you an exact number because it's honestly always changing, but it's hundreds.
Hundreds, okay. Yeah.
So there's 105 counties in Kansas. Do they each have an agency or no?
Probably there's
yeah.
an agency that covers them. One agency could cover multiple counties,
that's true,
but
that's true. I was just trying to help you come up
In
with
some
a guess.
counties, Douglas obviously comes to mind, has 10, 20 agencies.
Oh,
So,
wow.
okay, yeah.
All right. Well,
just because they
yeah.
have so many folks who need help. So
They do have a large
So
population.
when we built Sutherland Estates, that was, our other programs rolled over from the, what is Clarity? The database that we used, Clarity rolled over from another program.
Yeah, was it MacLink that you used to be
that
back in the day?
sounds like that
Yeah,
sounds right.
yeah.
That
Something
sounds
like that.
that
So
was
about
back
the
in the
time
olden
I
days.
started with McPherson Housing Coalition, they were doing that rollover.
Oh, okay.
And then, but when we started with Sutherland Estates, and now all of a sudden we have permanent supportive housing, and it's got to be in the system, and it's got to be in there right, and they want all this data, and Westin saved me because
did.
I would just let him know we have this starting, and then we would talk. And and a lot of times it would be a phone call. You start out with email, and then it turns to phone call. So you have somebody that knows what they're doing with that data to get it into the program correctly, and that's what Westin does.
Well, that sounds like a very interesting job, but not really for most people. But
It
it's
is.
an important job, but maybe not.
Yeah, it is a really interesting job. I would say you start off, and regardless of how much you know or don't know, it's very, very overwhelming at first. And it's kind of funny. It's one of those things where the information is in so many different places, and there's so much to know that you think, I can never learn all of this. And then you're just kind of around it so much, and you poke around in the system, and you learn how things work, and eventually it just starts to make sense. But I think, when it's a whole nother world, and that's what's hard to communicate to providers is, we have to work with the government through HUD, and we have to help, make all of those data requirements for providers reasonable and manageable, and explain them, and it's a lot. It can be a lot.
Yeah.
That's why we're a team.
The other thing that I really appreciate about the HMIS team at KS Homeless is the fact that when I came on and was learning, it was very jumbled as to, and they've got it more streamlined.
Yeah, that's important.
So it makes it way easier to work with, and I just really appreciate that.
So let me ask you this. I'm really curious about this. Is AI having a factor into what you're doing now? Is it starting to merge a little bit, or is it still having to be done manually, or however you enter those numbers? Is that playing a factor? I'm writing a paper. I just finished writing a paper about AI and analytics and how human interpretation is still very important in that data. How does that all affect what you do?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So, honestly, the government is obviously very strict because, client data a lot of it is obviously PII, personally identifiable information. And you have to be really, really careful. Like, for example, if I use AI because I'm struggling with understanding something, if it's in relation to a client, I'm not even going to enter in their identifier. Like, even if it's deduplicated, I'm going to remove all of that and just give a very vague, type up of the situation. I can tell you that as far as how we use AI, it's mostly just for making things, emails and conversations more manageable for a provider who's not dealing with all this stuff all the time. We are not using AI in the Clarity Human Services system in any way. It's not integrated in there. The only thing that we have is the BitFocus, that's our software vendor who does Clarity. They have an AI feature where if a system administrator asks a question, it goes through AI first before they send it to a support person.
Oh, okay.
So there's that, of course, which is the classic example of AI. But we don't do anything else with AI. But I don't know if that's something HUD will be looking at. I do remember, I think it was last year. HUD actually got on a system administrator call, and they said, we are looking at AI tools, and we are thinking about them, but in the meantime, don't do anything you shouldn't do with them, is essentially what they said. Really, they said it just like that, is how I would phrase it. So yeah, no developments
just
yet. But
curious.
I'm curious too, because I have a lot of family who they work in. They're not in nonprofits; they're in all for-profits.
Yeah.
And one of them works for Qualia, which is a real estate startup, and their CEO last year went on record at the company in-person meeting in Austin and said that AI is the equivalent to cavemen discovering fire.
Oh, wow.
So you have that perspective, and then you have my perspective, which is it's just like, oh, we know it exists.
Oh, yeah.
So and I think it obviously has to do
Yeah.
with, we work with such sensitive information that it's like, we
Yeah.
don't want that, and
So why is all this data important to what you do? I don't know that we've covered that. I think that's important. I mean, we only have a
Yeah.
few minutes, but why does any of this data matter?
Well, I mean, the data matters because, first off, it's really hard to tell in a system accurately what is missing, what is needed, what is happening. I mean, if you don't have data on it, all you really have is anecdotals, right? And obviously, data can't cover everything. I think sometimes nowadays data is just used. People get way too excited about it, and it's used as everything. People think data is everything. If I'm being honest, I would still take what a provider says is needed in the community even more seriously than I would take data. Not that data is not useful, it is. But especially, I guess, a really good example I could use is Congress looks at the AHAR, or the Annual Homelessness, I think it's Assessment Report. Sorry if I butchered that. But that's the only report that Congress really looks at to see, okay, what is the homeless data right now? And that comes from our HMIS system. And it comes from a couple different places, Pitt and Hick, and also the LSA. I believe the LSA. But so anyway, that's all that they're looking at for what's needed for homelessness. And so if our data is not super in line, if it's not free of errors, if it's not clean, and if it's not representing what the community actually needs, then we are essentially not telling Congress what we need.
So you're not you're not representing what is going on with people who are experiencing homelessness,
Exactly.
or struggling, or what other things that are going on with them. The data is really, that's what that's for, to really show them, hey, this is what's really going on. Even though we know that the PIT count, which is point in time count, is not representing fully what is really going on, because of when it is, and because they only do it once a year, because people, it's kind of, that was a whole discussion we had earlier, but so that's why what you do is so important, because we have to get this information to the people who have the money that we need to do our jobs.
Yep.
Correct.
So that's why what
Absolutely.
you do is so critical, and why we have to get our data in correct, so that you can do yours, so it can get to Congress, so they can make wise choices for people that are struggling.
Yeah, and I would also say, even on a more local level, if an agency collects really good data, they're going to be able to run a report and know trends in their data, what's going on. You can tell a lot. I mean, you can tell, am I underserving this community or overserving this community? All that kind of stuff. What do I need? It reveals trends about the community, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and it's hard for us because, we have to convince agencies to give up so much of their time and their work when they are already stressed, they are already overburdened, to enter data into HMIS. And it is, it's not simple. It's a lot of data. One enrollment still takes, 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the client and if you sit down with them or not. And, so it's just, I would say that I've seen HMIS and data in the homeless system change so much, even since the 2 years I've been here. And I think it has gone in the right direction. Like Karolyn said, that was very nice. That's one thing that we have really tried to do, is to make it easier and to make it, condense it and put it in more accessible places and in fewer places. So there's a lot going on. It's exciting. I think it's headed in the right direction.
That's exciting. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I look at it that, there's two ways of training. There's either tribal training, where somebody trains you the way they were trained, and then they train the next person the way they were trained, and things get lost and things get forgotten, or you have a very systematic way of training. And these guys that are in HMIS now have taken it from being that tribal training, moved it into more of a, every month we have a meeting, there's a training on part of it, and they've really streamlined it and made it so that you can come in at any time and feel like you're going to learn what you need to do because
Yeah.
the data is important. So thank you
Awesome,
for the
thank
work
you.
you do.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
again, he is my hero
I
because
know.
he saved me more than once.
I appreciate you guys so much. It's a lot. It's a lot, and you guys do such a fantastic.
We might have to
job,
give him a Superman cape, don't you
Well,
think?
there you go.
There we go.
You guys are way too generous to me. There are so many other people who deserve it way more. So I'm just glad I'm here.
All
So,
right. Thank you.
yeah.